everyone, I'm Logan Clements, freelance event producer, and today I'm excited to bring you another installment of my favorite tips and tricks when it comes to event planning and running your own business. I can't believe we've finally made it to the end of 2020. I wanted to reflect on some of the things that I learned over the last year. So today I want to talk about my 3 biggest lessons I learned about events in 2020. And some of these I think you might already know if you've watched any of my other videos. Others, this might be new to you. So stick around to find out what are my top 3 things that I learned from 2020 as an event planner. Before we get into it, I do want to remind you, please like, subscribe, click the bell below to turn on your notifications every single Monday when I drop a new video. And if you have any questions, feel free to put it in the comments below or go over to my website at loganstrategygroup.com and sign up for my newsletter or ask me a question there. I send out a newsletter once a month giving you an update on just what I'm working on, things that are making me happy, more free event advice. So head over to my website and give that a follow as well. My biggest takeaway is that hybrid events are here to stay. Whether you've been resistant to technology or you just thought that in-person is the only way that you can connect with people, I hope you learned something this year that you can have exciting and engaging virtual events. And one of the biggest reasons why I think hybrid's gonna stay is because of the increased reach. I had audiences, I had clients that were able to reach people that they'd never been able to reach before with a solely in-person event. Whether it was travel restriction, they couldn't travel, or it was too much money, or whatever it was, but I saw across the board events that I was involved with and just attended see a big spike in how many people they reached with their event. Another fun part of why hybrid I think is here to stay is you also had increased reach when it came to speakers. You were able to access speakers that you wouldn't have ever been able to have access to, whether it was, again, paying them to come to your city or paying their fees. For speakers as well, it's been a lot more economical for them to do hybrid events or virtual events from the comfort of their home. So I think as we move forward, you're going to find more hybrid events, whether it's hybrid in the sense that attendees are going to be there in person and virtual. It could also be that speakers and content is available both in person and virtual. And I'm really excited to see that kind of expansion in the events market. And my last one about why hybrid's going to stay is you can repurpose your event content. Again and again and again, I was talking with clients this year about why it's so great with virtual events that you can record your content and repurpose it later. Whether you want to make it replayable in its entirety for your attendees who couldn't make it in person, or if you want to cut it up into bite-sized chunks and use those in your marketing materials. It's also a great value add for your speakers. They also now get video of their content that they can use, and you can offer that as an incentive to participate in your event. But I think realizing that by having that hybrid model and starting to produce things a little bit more like TV, you can still have your fun in-person elements while also creating something that's going to live on well past the duration of your event. And my next ones, my biggest takeaway from this year was rehearsals matter. Like really, really matter. And when I say rehearsals, this is everything from a tech rehearsal to a speaker rehearsal to what I call tech checks and then a dress rehearsal. So a tech rehearsal meaning you are going through and you're walking through exactly what you want seen on the screen, you want your attendees to do with your team, and you're talking through it to make sure you have all your transitions down. I did a video on transitions, I'll link below. And you got your transitions down and you know exactly what you want on the screen at exactly the right time. Or how are you going to transition from this panel into this keynote presenter? When do you need that keynote presenter to be there? That kind of a tech rehearsal will be really helpful. And then speaker rehearsals matter because it's not as simple as just handing someone a microphone and going out on stage. You're using a different technology. And I love to see that kind of spill over back into in-person events with just paying more attention to the speaker's experience and the brief they're getting and their rehearsal. And so just making sure they feel good and comfortable on the day of your event. And then the last one I had was test everything as a good part of rehearsal, doing a tech check, whether that's with a speaker to make sure their audio and their Wi-Fi connection's great, or if it's testing your actual technology. Like if you're going to stream from YouTube, make sure when you hit what you think is streaming to YouTube, actually streams to YouTube. I had a client where we thought we could embed a YouTube Live onto one of our sites, tested it, it worked, day of, it didn't work. So all I can say is test, test, test. Rehearse with your speakers, test your platforms, test with your internal team, and you'll be set up for success. Again, I think this holds true no matter if you're doing virtual events or hybrid or entirely in person, but just test, and test some more. And my last one of my biggest takeaway about events this year is that your in-person skills as an event person, event planner, manager, assistant, stage manager, director, lighting, AV, whatever it was, it does translate into the virtual world. There are a lot of skills that you had in person that you need to be effective in a virtual event setting. For example, being able to talk to clients and speakers and be able to remain calm and cool and collected when things are not happening according to plan. The ability to answer their questions and help them feel informed but not overwhelmed. These are skills I've seen with really effective in-person event people that definitely translate into the virtual world. So whether you're someone who's been super excited about virtual events and dived in, or you're someone who's been really hesitant and been like, Logan, I just can't wait till we can get back to in person, that's also fine. But know that the skills you have as an event person do translate, and maybe it's just that you need that first gig, you need that first opportunity to prove yourself, both to yourself and to clients. But don't lose hope if you're an event person, because I definitely think those skills are going to translate no matter if you're in person or hybrid. So those are my 3 biggest event lessons of 2020. And a lot of them did revolve around virtual events or hybrid event learnings, but I think they do translate no matter what industry you're in, whatever event you're planning. As we look forward to 2021 and a new year and a fresh start, I do think virtual events are here to stay. I think we'll start to get into hybrids toward the end of the year. So really just think back on all these things that I just talked about. The importance of rehearsals, speaker rehearsals, tech rehearsals, platform tests. That is all going to be super, super key. The importance of understanding the investment that you make in hybrid events or in virtual events is definitely still going to pay off no matter what you do in 2021, 2022, and forever in the future. So this is a great time to learn, get your feet wet, start to understand what kind of hybrid model might work for you moving forward. And my last one is just for all my fellow event professionals out of there. Don't lose hope. It's been a crazy year. I know I got really dark for me in the spring when I was worried that nothing I knew would translate. And I have been pleasantly surprised and enjoyed working with people I know and worked with in person at in-person events. And I've worked with them to transition into the virtual world and seen them thrive and seen their skills still be those intangibles that we know are so key at in-person events. So don't be afraid to get your feet wet, but also hybrid and in-person stuff will be coming back. But I think if you can start to make yourself a key player that no matter if it's virtual or hybrid or in-person, that you are their go-to, you're definitely going to see a return on that investment. And that's all I have for you. I'm Logan Clements, freelance event producer, and today has been another installment of my favorite tips and tricks about running my own business and event planning. And stick around next week. I'll be talking more about the running your business side of my 3 biggest lessons from this year as a business owner. And that's all I got for you folks. Hope you have a good rest of your month and see you guys next week. Bye.